Man, finally some vacation time. You know, it'll be cool to see some new stuff this weekend and get a little bit of reading done along the way, too. Well, I better head out. Oh my god, what an incredible trip. I saw so many great gigs this weekend and...
Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows, only time? And who can say if your love grows as your heart shows, only time?
What's going on, everybody? First of all, I just want to say 21 subscribers, that is awesome. I remember from one of the Tools of Titans videos back episode 2 or 4, I'm not sure which one, but there was an example that I stated that I had less than 10 subscribers at the time, and so to see that I've now broken 20 is amazing. So thanks to everybody that's given support to the show, that continues to watch every week, and that interacts with any of the discussions. It's really appreciated, and you guys are amazing. And number 2 here, I was on vacation. I took a long weekend, Friday through Monday, to head down to Texas to see a buddy of mine, and I had all of the intention in the world to finish Notes from Underground by Dostoevsky, and it definitely did not happen. And so that kind of gave me an idea for a discussion video today. I think that these discussion videos have been really solid so far. There's been a lot of good interaction. People that have been messaging privately, they've been talking to me in person and really interacting with a lot of the subject matter on those. And so I was going to do a really quick one today. The last 2 videos have been about 25 minutes worth just between the 2 of them. So I was going to bring it back, get a discussion that's pretty easy. It's not going to tax you at all. And I think that anybody that's been waiting to respond to one of these discussion videos, this one would be the perfect one to do. And it's all about reading habits on vacation. Now, obviously mine are terrible, but I know there are people out there that have some strong opinions on reading on vacation. There are certain people that go to specific places so they can read, and it plays into a lot of other factors with how you choose to vacation. And, I'm just curious to see what all of you out there do on your vacations, maybe to make me feel better about not actually finishing this book while I was down in Texas, but maybe just to enlighten me on how I can be more successful in the future as far as reading goes on vacation. Now, just like I did about 2 videos ago, I'm going to put on some scenic footage here just to create kind of that relaxed atmosphere. This was actually something that I filmed on my way down to Texas, and so you can just kind of listen to what I have to say. I'm going to throw a couple questions your way, and then hopefully we can have a discussion down below. But if not, if you're really looking for that book review, Notes from Underground should be done by next week, and so there will be a discussion video on that coming up next Wednesday. We're keeping that consistent schedule going, and so I hope you join me then. But for now, let's take it to the middle of nowhere. Hope you enjoy the view. So to get started here, I'm just going to explain in a little more detail exactly where I was to give context as to why I'm such a failure as a vacation reader. So obviously I was in Texas, but I was more in the northern part of Texas, specifically a city called Denton, with another evening spent in Dallas as well. But in Denton, Texas, they have a university there, UNT, that has a very prestigious jazz program that pulls cats in from all around the country and even the world to study there. And so in Denton, there are not only these great students, but these graduates that have stuck around because they know that there are all of these fantastic players there. So any given night at any given venue, you could just pop in and see some legendary music go down. And so you could see where my dilemma kind of begins. I'm a huge music fan, and so how could I sit down and open up a book when all of this great, great music was happening just right next door? But the thing is, when you think about it, I did do everything I could to bring myself success. I mean, Notes from Underground is not a huge book. It's only around 130 pages, and that was by design. I really wanted to pick a small book because I really thought that I could finish within this long weekend that I had put aside for myself, but I really just felt like there was too much to see. There were so many great people that I met and so many awesome, restaurants and food trucks and all of this to try. And I just kind of got caught up in the area that I was in. And, I felt a little bad about it because even within this larger goal that I have with this channel to read the 20 books this year, I also have these smaller goals, these weekly assignments to get some form of reading done so that I can continue to have content to put out on the channel, because I do want this to be a consistent hub for literary discussion. But unfortunately, I didn't get there this time. It was the first time. It's the first time I've had vacation since this whole thing started. But on my way back, I was thinking that this would be an interesting discussion to tackle, just a lighthearted one, because we all have different opinions, and some people don't even like to read on vacation. So we'll get to that in a little bit, but I do have a few discussion points here that I'm curious to get your point of view. So some people do really like reading on vacation. Two examples from the same trip: my brother-in-law and my grandpa both had books that they were reading, and I'm talking plural here, in Colorado, our annual vacation last summer. And I know for a fact that my brother-in-law finished at least one. I think he might have read two, and my grandpa was obviously taking the time. He had a book on early Greek philosophers that he was tackling, and they finished them in a timely manner and really enjoyed the vacation as much as the rest of us. And so, I've done that as well. I have finished books on vacation before, and I have great memories with that, having started and having finished those books within the same trip. But I think that there are some factors that come into play there. And so the first one: does your setting make a difference in how successful you are with your vacation reading? Our family has kind of had a discussion about the different types of vacationing people, like what their preferred settings are, and we've generally boiled it down to: you're a beach person, you're a mountain person, and later added a city person as well. And no, that's not all encompassing, but you kind of get the idea. A mountain person has a lot of these strenuous activities that they would engage in during that trip, like hiking, etc. And beach people, it's a very different vibe. The point, from what I've gathered, for beach vacations a lot of times is to rest and lay around and really have that time to recharge. And you can tell that it is somewhat accepted that there are certain places that are meant for reading books. Like if you think of bookstores, for instance, if you go during the summer, a lot of bookstores will specifically have a section that is for beach reads. And, this is coming from somebody who's based in the Midwest. It's not like this is just catering to the geography here. This is truly a subgenre of books there, these beach reads. And so, does that help your success rate? Should I vacation somewhere a little more relaxing as a mountain person? So that's the first point there. The second one: does the choice of the book make a difference? And so, obviously, I did not finish Notes from Underground. And it is short, like I said, but I don't think that that's the only factor. I had already been hyped up a lot. I didn't bring this up in the Consider the Lobster discussion, but I'll probably mention it again next week. There was an essay in there that was about this, I guess, biographer at this point who had created these huge encyclopedias all on Dostoevsky, his life, his works, and it really dug deep into what his pieces meant on a larger scale, not just within the context of the book itself, but what it meant for writers of the future, the influence of the book on them, and kind of the way that it helped shape the career of Dostoevsky as well. And so I was going into it with all of these extra details that really made me want to slow down and read it extensively. I wanted to make sure that I was getting all the details and not just glazing over. And so that was a big reason why it wasn't just something that I could finish at that time, because I potentially didn't pick a great vacation read there, especially with a timetable that I've given myself. And so do you think that's the same way? Are there certain books that you'll really finish when you're on vacation, or does that not affect you at all and I'm just making excuses for myself here? And so on the last point, some huge readers actually don't like reading on vacation at all. And so what are the points to you that leads you to believe that? Are vacations an escape from everything for you? Do you not want to do a lot of the things you would normally be doing, not just specifically reading, but many of the daily occurrences? Do you just kind of skip over those so that you can have this unique experience in a new place? I'm curious to hear about that as well, especially all of you, like I said, that really are heavy readers. Is this a category that you fall into? And so those are three of the main discussion points I think it'd be interesting to hear about, and I think other people would be interested in hearing about it too, because, we all like to go on this or that vacation whenever we can, and reading can definitely be a part of that. And so just the last thing before we go, I'm just going to put a help wanted ad here at the end. Do you have any tips for people like me that just are very spotty with their vacation reading? Because, it was a hit to the pride, I really wanted to make sure I got that done, but, I'll have to wait till next vacation and see how it goes. But if you have any tips, leave them in the comments below. If you have any thoughts on any of those points, leave them in the comments below. I, of course, said this was going to be a short video, and here we are at about 10 minutes in this discussion. But just know next week, Notes from the Underground is coming, and it should be a good discussion. So I hope you join me again. Love seeing the new subscribers. Spread the word. I think this could be a great outlet for all of us. So I'll catch you next week for Notes from the Underground, or Notes from Underground, with also a little bit of a musical motif from the album Notes from the Underground. You'll see that then. But I'll catch you next week. Thanks for tuning in to Brian's Book Bastion.
Who can say